This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, that's weird. That was weird. So a small little group tonight, so nice. So tonight we are spotlighting our gorgeous partner of the month, because not only did Tammy get partner of the month for Soul Tribe, she also got partner of the month for New Zealand with the whole of the Juice Plus Australia and New Zealand company. So that's exciting, darling. Such an exciting recognition that is. So tonight, I know that she's been spotlighted on other trainings, but I really wanted to make this about how do we help you guys get through your challenges, because I know for myself, I had a moment at the end of last year where most of you ladies wouldn't have even been part of the business, where I nearly quit. And I don't give up on anything. I don't give up on anything I believe in. So for me, it was pretty huge. And I know that Tammy has also had moments where she's found it really, really, really hard. So we're just going to share, and I'm just going to spotlight Tammy so she can share what's some really good tips on what's helped her when she's got through those challenges. I think maybe, hang on, Tammy, and I'll spotlight you. Maybe, darling, if you can just share some of the challenges that you've actually had throughout your 4 years of being here, because I know you've had quite a few that have really put you in a difficult place to be able to grow your business.
Yeah. Some of the challenges, well, number one was having a job, having a day job. I used to watch on with envy at the mums who had taken this on from a place of being on a benefit and having nothing to like being able to be the Juice Plus company. And I watched them grow really fast because they had all this time, is what I felt. And I did a lot of watching other people and thinking everyone else is doing better than me. And that was another challenge, an obstacle that I had was, the comparison. But so the job and the comparing myself was pretty major in the beginning. And always feeling like really frustrated because everyone else could make all the daytime events and calls, and even in the evenings they had all this time to jump on because they put their kids to bed, but mine wanted to see me because I've been at work all day, and even a big thing was families. I wanted to touch on that as a big one because balancing working and families, and sometimes when you're doing this part-time and you've got a day job as well, you're really, really double, triple juggling everything. So for me, that was a really big, my three big obstacles really was having a day job, having a family, and comparing myself to others who were free to, what I viewed as free to be able to work on their business. Yeah, I'm just going to take the bone off my dog. Sorry. Sorry, it was too noisy. Live. So that was, I think they were probably my three biggest was having time, having actual concentration, because the other thing that I really realized was that as much as I thought multitasking was my forte, it totally isn't. And I also had way too much on my plate in terms of other little side gigs and side jobs and side hobbies. And I took Zumba classes, and I was hosting Buddhist meetings at my house once a week, and going out to other events to do with all of those things as well. Zumba was like raising another whole business online and physically, as well as learning the choreography and everything. It was just absolutely brain draining trying to cram everything into my head. So I guess one of the biggest obstacles I had was really heading for a bit of a breakdown, which did happen, and I broke my foot. So mentally I felt fine, but my body was just like, that's it, you are doing way too much. So I think there are some pretty decent obstacles and enough to really, for anyone to just be going, oh, look, I don't know if I can do this. And I did have other network marketers approach me and say, look, we'd really love to have you in our business. We love what you do. We love everything that you're, attracting. And so me being me would think I can just do everything and try and take on all sorts of things. And again, I would even say to them, look, I really don't think I've got the time for this. And I just fall back. And what it would mean was I was compromising my Juice Plus business usually to try and get around everything else that was going on. So yeah, Christine, I'm seeing a few people that are relating to this. So that was my life for about 3 years. Yeah. And some of the big obstacles. I quit Zumba. It was the first lockdown. After the first lockdown, we came out and I danced quite excitedly and damaged myself then. So I haven't really danced since. And so another challenge really has been just keeping the mojo as well. When you feel like you've lost a lot of yourself and a lot of things that you would always had defined me, I really felt that me being a very physical and very fit and athletic person was what defined me as well. So there was a lot of self-discovery on the way and a lot of self-work to realize that I'm worth more than just my overachieving and my fitness level and how much more weights I can lift than other people or whatever the challenge was, you know. I'm just more than that. So that was, yeah, sorry, I could rattle off a million obstacles. Yeah.
That's okay. That's great, darling. That's awesome because you're relating to so many people. And yeah, she was the queen of multitasking. Absolutely. I love your story about the Thermomix, like when you got involved in Thermomix and she used to bug you about your trainings and you were like, no, just leave me alone. I don't want to, you know, you made it really clear that you just, that wasn't your vibe and that wasn't your thing and you just didn't want to do that. You just got on to get a free Thermi. So I think that's something that I've seen change with you is having those real clear boundaries around what you've got time for and what you don't have time for. So do you want to share now how, you know, when in those moments that you were really challenged around it or just your learning, so your biggest learning that you've taken from your whole journey, because I think you've got a lot. I know I did ask you to take some notes,
Yeah, I have made a few notes because I mean you're asking me to the biggest one, but again there's a few.
No, share all of them. I think it's great. It's fantastic.
So I think not number one, they're not really in any order, I think, is really having faith and trusting in what you're doing and trusting that the universe has put you where you're meant to be, trusting in the doors that open for you and the beautiful connections that we make, and just trusting when things feel good and feel right and not buying into other people's opinions to sway us from our really instinctive gut feeling. You know, I've not listened to my gut in the past, and then I'm getting more and more results from actually listening and tuning in and going, does this feel right? You know, and the feeling that I get in this company is a really good feeling. So trusting my gut, trusting that feeling, and also the incredible support that we have. Like I just haven't seen that in any business or company I've had. So and part of that is staying connected to the people that we trust in the organization, you know, in this wonderful company and this team and other teams that you meet along the way, is just really staying connected with the people that you really look up to, that really inspire you, that, you know, kind of have goals that align with you, is just find them and follow them. And, you know, I love that saying that people have, that, you know, success follows success. So, you know, find someone successful and duplicate what they're doing. That's what we're all doing here. We're all just duplicating what someone else has taught us. So don't be shy to ask for help and to borrow ideas and things, because that's what this is all about too. It's about what worked best. And when I go and have a look at people who I look up to, I will have a look through posts and things, and I'll look for what actually was the most successful post. I'm not going to borrow the most unsuccessful post. I'm going to borrow the ones that got, you know, a lot of hits or something. So it's just a tip on the side. But just staying really close to the people that inspire me, finding out when their trainings are and getting on some of them, and just hearing what worked for them, and also just hearing their story, because it's really great hearing other people's stories and realizing that we've all come from the same place, a place of wanting more and wanting to do more, be more, help more people. You know, we kind of got a lot of goals that are in line. So anyway, just getting that inspiration. So yeah, and that note, just asking for help. You know, this is a business where, as the leaders and things, the only thing that's going to upset us is realizing that one of our team didn't feel comfortable coming to ask us for help. or didn't feel that they could, or didn't know how to ask, or didn't feel that it was the right time. I don't care if it's fucking midnight. If I'm up and I'm able to, I will answer you. Sometimes my best hours are at night, you know. So are you guys seeing me okay? Tina's just saying it might, maybe it's frozen.
Yeah,
okay?
I think it's
Great.
Tina's internet, maybe. Is it your internet,
Okay.
Tina? Because you're a bit laggy, darling.
Yeah.
I'm back now, but yeah.
Good tip that I've learned recently with my bad internet is you can go into your Wi-Fi settings and put your phone on low data mode, and everything will run better, because it will turn off all the background noise. Just FYI, you can do that anytime if you're having trouble with a video or a Zoom or anything. It's just going to turn your settings to low data on. So click on your Wi-Fi, click on, you know, the name of your Wi-Fi when it pops up, and then it will give you options to turn the user mode down. Yeah, I think that's on iPhone anyway. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Big tips is just have your dreams and goals. Have really big ones, and don't be frightened to dream really huge. This helped me whenever I felt really down and low about things, was actually also looking back and realizing what I'd accomplished. And that's why having your dreams and your goals is really important, is because you write them down. The reason we write them down is because once we've actually put something on paper, we've kind of mentally photographed it as well. It's imprinted and embedded into us. So whenever anyone's saying write stuff down, it's not because you're probably never going to read it again, you know, but you're going to remember it forever. So, but also if you do have diaries and you look back over them, often you realize you've accomplished a lot of your goals that you have forgotten over time, you know. I think, something else that I didn't write down here that I want to say is like, is give it time. You know, give business time and really be aware. Like one of the biggest things I learned, and I've shown you guys before, is my 4-year business book. And it's really, you know, I got this book when I was on my first conference over in Australia. Don't get me sidetracked talking about conference, but it's awesome. And while I was over there, it was only my first few months in the business, and I really got the clear picture that any business that you embark on, whether it's a franchise or you've bought the stock and you're making candles, or you're opening a shop or you're opening a cafe, it's going to be years before you're taking home profit. And so I don't expect anything different from any business that I want to last and be a really good source of income and be really solid. So it's about putting in, you know, whatever we put in is what we're going to get out. And another one of my biggest lessons lately has been, you know, that if I treat this like a part-time job, it's going to pay me like a part-time job. And when I start treating it like a full-time job, then it will pay me like one. And that doesn't mean that you have to do 8 hours. It just means you have to take it seriously and be there for it. I think that's really huge, finding the balance. Knowing when you've had enough and you need to go and have a break and recharge is super important, and doing the self-work, and, you know, whether it's meditation or whether it's going for a walk in nature or getting your feet in the ocean or whatever it is, make sure you get grounded and get off your computer and have a breather, because like any piece of art, Angel, ask questions, go for it. Anything, you can always do better work once you've gone away and then come back and look at something again. And that can go especially for verbiage and messages. If you're messaging somebody and you just think, oh, I'm just not 100% about this, like go away and have a break and nourish yourself and get your blood sugars up, and then come back and see it with fresh eyes. Don't ever send anything out in a hurry. You don't need to hurry. If your customers or your teammate want to do this, they're going to stick around. And you can't scare off someone that's really into this, you know, unless you're really awful to them. I don't know. Anyway, finding boundaries with the family has been a really big one for me. So I touched on that as one of my struggles. And I live in quite a shared family situation where my children and my sister and a lot of people actually live with me. I've also got a backpacker, so I've got guests staying. And it's very easy for people to just wander in and out all day long and distract me. So I'm just making some clear boundaries with them about my working hours making sure that I get clear space and that they understand that, you know, like right now, please don't turn up, I'm on a call. So getting that really clear. And I know that's really hard for us with our families, but I also realized that I've actually, you know, we might think it's rude when we're out with people and then suddenly someone messages us and we've got to go and reply or something. But my family and people who love me understand what I'm doing. And they also understand that the people who are messaging me actually really genuinely need my help right now, whether it's for a message for a customer or whatever. The work we're doing is really important and it's really good. And if I just politely excuse myself for a couple of minutes, they don't mind if I'm coming back and my attention's clear again, because it's really hard to concentrate when you know there's this pending message waiting and somebody's waiting for your help and they're waiting for a reply or an answer. Don't have to panic and rush, but just letting my family know that this is important to me and to somebody else can sometimes help when my family's feeling like I'm just running off on my phone again. Is actually just explaining to them what's going on has helped me. Yeah. Okay, here's probably the biggest one, and I think Tanya's going to love this, is get out of your own way. Get unshy, you know, get live with it and just get silly with it and stop thinking anyone gives a fuck what you're doing. I think is really important, you know, like stop caring what other people think and stop the limiting belief stories stopping you. Like if you feel like all that's going on, then just push past it like that's some annoying you know, friend or something. But just really recognizing it, seeing where you're stopping yourself from progressing. And usually it's when we're making excuses. I'm really good at that, and really good at just saying it's too hard and I'm too busy. These are all things where I'm actually just standing in my own way, and I've been doing it for a long time. So biggest one for me, yeah, get out of my own way, you know, stop with all the excuses and the bullshit stories and everything going on.
I'm going to steal you on that one real quick. This is where I was at. This is where I'm at, is I am getting in my head with everything, with Willow, with everything else. And it's making the action feel so forced. I don't know if you've been there, just feeling like, you know, you're dragging yourself through with bloody bricks over your whole body. How do you, I know you say, you know, just push through it and just take the action. How do you actually get through it? How do you get out of your head?
Probably go away and do some other tasks and get some other chores done that help me feel a little bit more fulfilled and successful. Like if I'm getting stuck with my work and feeling like I'm just pushing, as I'll go away and probably hang out the washing or something and then come back, and then I will actually take a completely different tact. And if I feel like I'm just bashing the same kind of list and all that, I'll choose a different task, Angel, like go and actually make some new friends or go and join some new groups or just start some new threads so that I feel like I've planted some fresh seeds. Is really it. I think, you know, we've got to remember that we're planting seeds and that they don't all sprout straight away. So it's hard when you just want something to happen straight away. So I just suggest building the numbers bigger, getting some more opportunity on your friends list, you know, and and doing more lives. Be real about it, you know, but share some. I always find that getting on a live and just sharing some of the things about you know, benefits or whatever, or what I love about this or something like that just really helps. You're really good with your lives. You're really good with your stories. I haven't actually checked your thread, but I think like actual just solid lives are really good too, and then you can share them to your stories just for other people as well. But yeah, Angel, I think sometimes just going and doing something good for me and then coming back, shifting up my energy is probably the biggest thing. Shifting up my energy and having a break and just taking that pressure off and just actually reminding myself that there's more to life and I need to go outside and have a look at the reconnect full energy of that universal force that brings things to us, you know, that mystic energy again. We need it on our side. So just tap into it, go out and look at the moon tonight, and just remember where the power comes from. So I think it's all really nothing's coincidence. Yeah, nothing's coincidence. So work out who you need to chat to and just drop a line to someone you haven't talked to for a long time. Yeah, but do it without you know, that thing about sales again, we have to remember that we're not actually looking for sales. What we really want to be doing is looking for people we can help. Look out, just refresh your view on everything and just think, I'm missing someone that needs help. Who is it? And just call out to the universe, bring them to me. Who needs help right now? You know, that thing of getting up in the morning and just putting a call out to who can I serve. The more that we make it about them and not us, the more good fortune we'll bring in. Yeah. Sorry, I'll just talk on.
Amazing, Tammy. So much gold, darling. So much gold. And so many things that I wanted to cover too that you've actually covered. So that's fantastic. I love it. Anything else you want to share? And loved your question too, Angel.
That thing just on coincidence and meeting people, and just, you know, that you don't just meet people for coincidence, that you meet them for a reason, and you're you know, you're here to improve lives, you're here to change people's lives. One of my other things I've got here is look around, you know, when you're feeling like, what am I doing here? People are thinking this XYZ about me because I'm selling online or whatever, is just to remember to look around you at the people on the team and the leaders that we have, and ask yourself if this looks fake. I think is really important. And would this company and these people all still be here if it was? You know, Kat's a really sincere person, Tanya's a really sincere person, Ange, Adam, all those people, you know, Linda Evenden is a really big one for me. There's just so much realness to her. And it just reminds me that I'm in the right place with the right people. And when I look at all of the other places that I've worked in my life, none of them hold a candle to the way that we operate here, and the community and the support. Yeah. Last note that I have here is just when you're feeling challenged, is remember your why, and readdress your goals. Remember where your pain was when you started, and it's very easy to forget things as we improve, as life gets better, as our health gets better. It's really important to note where we were when we started and reflect back on that, so that we have a kind of like a you know, a point in time that we can see there's definitely been some improvement or something. But also just remember your why and re-establish your goals. Yeah, those are my notes anyway. Yeah.
Thank you, darling. You're amazing. You're amazing. And I know that, you know, I totally 100% agree with you about there's nothing, coincidence is not even a word, it's called synchronicity. And things happen for a reason. We meet people for a reason. So absolutely, we're all connected in some way. So thank you so much, Tammy. If you ladies want to ask any questions, you can still ask her. I'm just gonna take her off spotlight, and I'm just going to share a little bit about my own stuff. See you later, Ruth. So I just want to talk a little bit around my challenges and what I've gone through, and just some tips that that has really helped me. So one of the things that has been a really huge one for me right from the start was worrying about what other people think. Way too much, way too much. And I came in with, so I don't know if anyone's done any work on self-sabotage and what their saboteur is, but I have, and I've just been talking to Angel about this tonight, and my biggest self-saboteur is that I'm a people pleaser. And so I have always done everything to please other people and putting them before myself. So of course that, you know, I'm a nurturer as well, and that's just what I do, and I love doing that. But what it's done is it means it's been to my detriment. So it actually hasn't helped me, and it's made me step into this business with, well, what would happen if I say the wrong thing, or I do the wrong thing, or, you know, and what are people going to think about me? Am I going to lose friends? I'm going to feel rejected? And so I've got a huge journey around rejection that's been an issue in my life, all my life, which I've now stepped out of, thanks to Linda Evenden. So let's talk about her in a beautiful coaching course. So if any of you are challenged, I know I've been talking to Angel about this, about doing her course, because she is incredible. She'll take you through a whole lot of stuff that helps you pull out things that you didn't even know were there, and gives you practical tips to get through them. And that's pretty much what's happened for me. So what did I do? In terms of worrying about others, and what people think of me, was I just grew a thick skin over time. So the beauty of this business is that it's going to make you get past this. So if you continually get worried and sit in fear around what other people are going to think every time you put a post out, every time you send an invitation, every time you send a friend request and a message to somebody, then you're going to stay in the same place and your business will not grow. So what you've got to do is you've got to actually do the action anyway. It's like feel the fear and do it anyway. So, and just tell yourself that I am safe. I am safe. I am in a safe place. And what does it matter if somebody leaves? And let's talk about alignment. So, you know, Tammy's touched on this, and I want to talk a lot about this because this is huge for me. And this is something I fully believe, is that we are aligned with specific people. That's why we're all here together. That's why we all came together, because we're all aligned. We have very similar values and very similar beliefs, and things that we want to do in our lives are very similar. And so if you're sending a message to somebody, or you put a post up and somebody doesn't agree with you and they get upset with you or angry with you, or they send you a negative message, they are not aligned with you. They are not your person. They are not somebody. So can you imagine, would you want to be there? Would you want to have them as a customer? Would you want to have them as a team member? Then if the answer is no to either of those things, then why are they on your friend list? Do you actually resonate with that person? Do you relate with that person? And so what I did is I got really clear around who was actually vibing with me, who I wanted to know. And so if I got somebody who said a negative thing about me or just didn't get me, instead of getting worried about, you know, what they think of me, I was like, okay, well, they don't align with me anyway. And sometimes I would unfriend them, and sometimes I would just leave them over there and unfollow them. And what started happening is I stopped getting those negative messages. People stopped even being in my space. I didn't even get anyone in my space. And that's because I started leveling up. So my vibration increased, my frequency increased. And that's what happens is as you grow, your frequency increases. And I'm sure you ladies all know about this anyway. So another thing that I did that was huge for me was that I always worry. I got stuck in worry every time. That's my default. Worry and sadness are my default negative feelings. So when things start going wrong for me, or I start getting stressed, I get into worry and sadness every time. And so another thing that Linda's helped me with is to step out of the sadness. So I've got a really cool way to teach myself to step out of that sadness, and it's worked. It's amazing. I haven't even gone there since. It's great. It's amazing. Okay, so I will tell you. So basically what I ask myself, so every time I feel myself stepping into that sadness space, I ask myself, so I've actually set up some rules for myself. And one of these rules is the only time that I feel sad is if someone dies. I'm not allowed to be sad any other time unless somebody actually dies. So every time I start feeling sad, I ask myself, has someone died? And if the answer is no, then I'm okay, well, I can be sad for 5 seconds or 30 seconds maybe, and I'm not sad anymore. And I pull myself out of it. Because that default will get you stuck in a really low vibe. And we don't want to be in a low vibe. We want to be increasing our frequency at a higher rate so that we can actually get the success that we want. We can achieve our dreams. We can do what we want in our life. And then, you know, we are actually not only helping ourselves, but we are helping other people. And that, like Tammy said, that's exactly why we're here. We're here to serve others. We are here, yes, we're here to improve our lives, but we're also here to help other people improve their lives, which also improves our lives. So that's what I did. Every time I feel myself get stuck into worry, so that was my sadness thing. Every time I got stuck in worry, I would get myself into state immediately. Now, what is getting into state? Getting into state, as Tony Robbins calls it, is getting yourself into a really good, joyful space. And for me, I love dancing, as Christina knows. And so I'll get up and I'll put some music on and I'll dance around the room. I don't even need music. I can actually just, you know, dance anyway. And who can feel sad and worried and frustrated and angry and upset if you're dancing. No one can do that, especially when there's music on. So do something that gets you into a really beautiful state, whether that be dancing, whether that go outside and do a few star jumps, whether that's run around your house, whether that's sit in the sunshine, whether that's do a meditation, go for a walk, whatever it is that you need to do. Have a bath, cuddle your cat, cuddle your baby when she's in a good mood, Angel, or, you know, cuddle your grandchild. Whatever it is, get yourself into a really good state. And so that's what I do now. If I get into that worry, I like instantly go, okay, I don't need to be here. I need to be in a really beautiful state. So what do I need to do to change that? Another thing that I found, this was in the beginning. So when I first started, I tend to put too much focus on one or two people that were interested in the business or the products. And I would get stuck on that person, on those people, and I'd have my blinkers on, and then I go, oh yeah, this person is interested. I'd be constantly following them up to the point that I was a real pain and a real pest, and I was actually hassling them. But what you've got to do, and what I found was that as soon as you let go of that and go, okay, well, if they're interested, they're interested. If they're not, it doesn't matter. And then keep going and keep going and keep going. So a really good analogy around this is Linda Evenden's got a really good analogy with this, and she calls it the purple marble analogy. So imagine you've got a big bowl of white marbles, or you've got a big bowl of marbles, and every time you put your hand in and pull out a marble, every time you invite someone to have a look at the business or the product, or someone has messaged you and said, I'm really interested. So that's, if you pull this out and it's a white marble, and a white marble is they're ghosting you or they're not interested, okay? So you pull out the white marble and you put it down, and you pull out another one and it's still a white marble, and then you pull out another one and it's still a white marble, and you pull out another one and it's still a white marble. You pull out another one and it's a purple marble. And get really excited about this purple marble, because this purple marble is saying yes. And this purple marble has become a team member or has become a customer, and you're all excited, and yeah, you've got your first customer, and it's really exciting. But we don't stop there. We've actually got to keep going and pull out the next white marble, and the next white marble, and the next white marble. And this is pretty much the analogy of this business, that you're going to get people that are interested and then ghost you, or are interested and say, yeah, I'm interested, and they keep coming back and they still ghost you, and then they come back and they ghost you. I've had that, honestly. The whole time. I've still got people that are coming back to me after back and forth for years. Oh yeah, I'm really interested now. I've got one woman, I've been talking to her for 3 years. And for 3 years, every couple of months, she'll come back to me and say, okay, I'm ready to do business now. I'm ready. And I get all excited, and I'm like, yep, okay, let's get you in. And then she's gone, ghosted. Don't hear from her for 2 months. And then, and I love on her posts and I love on her stories, and I, keep but she's ghosting me the whole time. And then she'll come back 2 months later and she'll say, okay, Tan, I'm really sorry. I'm ready now. Let's do this. So I send her all the details and send this back to me, ghosting every time. I don't know. I think, what is up with this woman? What is going through her head? But she is not aligned with me. That's really simple. It is not the time. So, we're at a different level, a different frequency. She's not at the point where she's ready to do this. And I totally believe in divine timing, but I also believe that not everyone is aligned with you. They might be on your Facebook friend list, or they might follow you on Instagram, but it doesn't mean that they are aligned with you and are ready to do what you're doing. Okay, so then that's what I did, was I just realized that I had to just keep going and keep going and keep going. It's a little bit about the numbers. So they talk about how this is a numbers game. This is a numbers game, but we can make this a numbers game where we're aligned, where we're doing this from a beautiful place, where we're doing this with love, where we're serving people, okay? Because one of the things, and I just want to mention this, is one of the things is every time you pull out a purple marble, every time you go in and you pull out a purple marble, you don't know when that purple marble is going to come out. You have no idea when you could literally change someone's life forever. My friend changed my life by inviting me to have a look at this. She changed my life. And when I think about it, I also was part of changing Tammy's life as well, because her life is so different now. And you know, I mean, Katrina, you know, her life was changed by Lauren. You would have heard her story. So it's the same thing. So, you know, you could be offering something to someone that could literally change their life. Okay, so another thing that I didn't used to do this, but I know I see this a lot in team, and I'm really glad that Tammy talked about this tonight. And this is about making excuses for not doing the work and getting, you know, basically getting in your own way. So many people do this, and this is not something that I've ever done, but I see it a lot. The reason why you are making excuses for not doing the work is because you're making it about yourself. And like Tammy talked about tonight, we've got to come from a place where we're making it about the other person, that we are thinking about them and how we can help them. What are their needs? What do they need right now? As soon as we kind of make excuses for not doing something, or, you know, whatever, we are saying, well, this is all about me, and I can't do this, and I'm not even thinking about the other person. So serving is the best way to get yourself out of fear. It's the best way to get yourself out of your way, is by serving others and putting other, and you know, this comes from a people pleaser, and believe me, I've learned about the balance. Like, I actually put myself first now, which has taken a lot of practice, because I used to put everyone else first before myself every time, and I used to run myself absolutely ragged to the point where I was physically run down. I do not do that anymore, and it's finding a balance. But it's when we can say, okay, to this person, how can I help you, rather than I've got to get this customer, or I've got to get this team member, then it's then you have learnt the art of putting that other person first. But while I'm saying that, one of the other things that I've found that's really important, that's helped me, especially with the people pleasing stuff that I was talking about, because if I get too stressed, then I get really run down, and I just feel like I'm running on hardly anything, is that I take, like Tammy said, I take time out for myself. I make sure that I give myself some time. So a really good way of doing this is, so if you're feeling unwell, or you're feeling overwhelmed, or if you're feeling stressed about something, or you've got something that's happened in your life that's really difficult and challenging, you don't want to take yourself out of your business, but you still need to have time off. So it's important to take that time. And so what I do is I find the minimum that I can put into my business that will get me, at least keep my algorithms going, so I can have that time off. And it might be that I do like a story and a post every day, or and one reach out, or it might be that I just do some reach outs and you know, a reel or something. But find something that you can fit into your day that's still going to give you the time and space that you need to give yourself that time off, and do something to fill your cup, to make you feel really good about yourself, bring that joy back into your life. Because sometimes that time out is just like having a holiday, and it's really, really worth it. So another thing that I just want to remind people about too is that it's people come and go. So one of the things about this business is you'll find that, yeah, your customers will come, they might stay for 4 months, they might stay for longer, they might stay for a few years. I had one customer who was with me for 4 years, and she lost her job during COVID, and now couldn't order the products anymore because she's got no job and no income. And you know, she was actually my first customer and my first teammate, and one of my very best friends. And so things happen, life gets in the way, and you think, oh, Jo's going to be with me forever, she's always going to be purchasing all the products. But no, things change. And it's the same with team. You know, you're going to get team, they're going to do amazing, they're going to, like Tammy's sister Cinnamon, she was actually my frontline. Tammy was under Sin, and she did great. She rocketed to senior partner and qualified her business, and she was going good guns, and then she fell off, and she's gone now. You know, so we have no idea at what point somebody is going to come and somebody is going to go. It's just the nature of the business. And so for us, it's just about keeping going and keeping going and keeping going. And we're going to have bad days.
Can I just pop in there quickly?
Yeah.
I just want to add that I've had about 3 customers, old customers, come back to me this week that dropped off about a year ago. So don't ever give up on them just because they leave. They might just want a break.
It's amazing. I love hearing that. That is so amazing. So good. So, and one last thing I just want to share is, and this is something that has been really, really big in my life. This is something that has got me through absolutely everything, every difficult time in my life. And I use this for my business as well. I use this for everything. Hi, Pam. Hi, darling. And that is that we ask for guidance. So I always ask for guidance. And, you know, every time I'm at a really low in my life, you know, my default, as you know, is sadness and worry, but I get stuck in my head. So worry is getting stuck in my head every time. And so what takes me out of getting stuck in my head is I go into my heart and I ask the universe to support me. The universe has always got our back every single time. And all you've got to do is say, hey, angels, and I do this little meditation, which is beautiful. And it doesn't even have to be a meditation. I can just do it here sitting at my desk and I see a box. It's always a gold box. And I see a box, and this box, I take all of my worry out of my head. I see it coming out of my head and I put it into this box, and then I hand it to the angels. And I say, angels, this is yours now. Please take care of this, take it away, heal it, or bring back something new. And every time I meditate in the morning, I thank the angels and the universe for gifting me everything that I need right now. Something else that I have just learnt to start doing, and that is to giving to the world. So it's not just about giving to me, so what is it do I want, but asking for whatever is of the highest good of every single person in the world. What is of the highest good right now? What do they need? Give that out to that person. Give that out to everybody. Make sure that everybody has what they need, because there's so many people in the world that are struggling. Because every time we send out love to the world, that is coming back to you too, remember. You know, it's not just about being a beautiful human, it's about that, you know, that law of attraction, right? Everything that you're putting out there is coming back to you. So if you're putting out there that you're in a really difficult state all the time, 90% of the time, 80%, even 50% of the time, if you're in a terrible state, that's going to come back to you. And so if you look at your life and you can go, well, why is this happening to me? Why am I finding myself in these difficult, negative situations? Why are these people, why am I ending up with these people in my life? Or that's something else I wanted to talk about. You know, how did I get into this situation? Ask yourself that rather than why. How's questions and why, what questions are the best? What can I do to change this situation? How can I get myself out of this situation? That's because what your situation is, your external world is a complete reflection of your internal world. So it's exactly how you are feeling. And most of the time we are not conscious about this. And I know some of you will say, well, what happens if, you know, somebody close to me died? That's not necessarily you. That is something that needed to happen. It was their timing. It's just that you were affected by it. So there's certain things that, you know, are kind of out of our control. But if we look at, for example, I had a really close friend of mine who was always in drama. There was always drama in her life. Every single time there was always drama happening. And, you know, we would laugh about it, and she would say, well, I don't know what I'm doing, but I must be doing something because I'm always in this space. And it was something that she thrived on. She thrived on that drama. It made her feel important. It made her feel significant. And so that's what's happening, is she was actually attracting this because it was something that she needed. It was something that she was putting out there to the universe. So one more thing I just want to talk about, because I know that you're it's getting later. And that is, think about your 5 people. So when we think about our state and staying in the state that we want to and getting ourselves to a place where we want to be, creating the life that we really want to, think about the 5 people in your life now who you would spend the most time with. Think about them. Have you all got your 5 people? Because those 5 people are the most important people for influencing you in your life. So if you're surrounded by people who are negative, who don't really support you, who kind of always see the negative side of life, who are not really succeeding, they might be broke, they might be really sick, then that's going to continue to be your life. Because what you want to be is, you might be the most inspiring person in that 5. You don't want to be the most inspiring person in that 5. You want to be the least inspiring. So you want to make your 5 more inspiring than you, so that it lifts you up. You don't want to be the person, and believe me, this was me. I was the person lifting every single person up from I can remember this as a child, always lifting people up and wondering why I was always broke. I never had success. You know, my life was just really difficult. And as soon as I got this concept, things started to change. And so even if, so you can say to me, oh, look, but, you know, I'm thinking about Pam, for example, living with her 4 children. Well, you know, she can't change much about that. But what you can do is you can actually find people who really inspire you and bring them into your life on a daily basis. And it might be something really simple. So it might be that so for me, I'm really inspired by Oprah Winfrey. I absolutely love her. And so I often listen to her YouTube videos or her podcasts. I also have her books on Audible, and so I'll often listen to her. I also love Tony Robbins. He's another one that I'm really inspired by, and I often listen to his stuff as well. And at the moment, I'm really inspired by Fraser Brooks. I'm in his coaching course, and of course I'm really inspired by Linda and Adam and Katrina, and so you know I have them regularly. You know, I'm regularly on their trainings. I have conversations with them all the time, and so these are the people that you want to have in your life, the people who really inspire you, who are successful. What is it you want to look, what is it you want to have in your life? Look for people who can bring you that. Successful people who are already doing that. And that's the 5 people that you want to have surrounding you. Because I look at my 5 people, and I mean, at the moment, I've got my husband and my son living with me, and they're inspiring. But they're not at the stage where they are super successful that I want to be. My husband's working a day job, so is my son. I don't want to work a day job, and I don't want him working a day job. So I want to be following somebody who's really inspiring me to live the life that I really want to live. As much as I love my husband and think he's a very incredible, inspiring, wonderful man, and my son, they're not in the place where I want to be inspired by, like Katrina is. She's not working. She doesn't have a job. Neither is her husband. She's living in a dream house. You know, she's got a really successful business. And I love that. And she's just a beautiful heart. And I love her. And I'm really inspired, you know, really relate to her. So, and that's another thing is, you know, you are in this team for a reason. You've come into this team. You have these leaders for a reason, because you need the energy of these beautiful leaders that we've got in our team. And we're really, really blessed to have them. Okay, so I'm just going back to the questions. Can you please tell us, Linda, so you want to know Linda Evenden. So she's your upline, Tina. So what you can do, darling, is find her on Facebook and add her as a friend. Thank you. Yeah, she's wonderful. And if you can't add her, if she's got too many friends already, which might be the case, then follow her at least. What we can also do is add you into, maybe put her into Team Spirit, Tammy. That's Tina's, that's Linda's team. And she's in there. Yeah.
I will do, yeah. I'll just also pop in there and say that I have friend requested Linda about 3 years ago, and I think she's just accepted.
Because she knows who you are now, Tammy. She generally
and Adam as well. It's only taken 3 years.
Well, it's because they will generally only add leaders, and and so because you're now, I mean, right, you know, you've got partner of the month for New Zealand, Juice Plus New Zealand. So, you know, and you've just got QSSC, and so you've stepped right up into a leadership position, so they can see you now. So absolutely, you're going to be there, and very soon you're going to be in Linda's group anyway. So, and going to NMD school, which is wonderful, fantastic. So, Christina, what did you say about the 2 years? Sorry, was that to get in the business?
Yeah, when I first connected with, oh, you can't see me because I'm in a car.
I can see you. I can just see you.
When I first started kind of following you and asking about Juice Plus, and I started with the shakes, and that must have been almost 2 years ago. I can't remember the date. And by the time, you know, kind of like I was in and out of it, and maybe yes, you know, like I was just umming and ahhing for so long, and finally something, you know, lit up in me. And it was a conversation with you as well, because you're so inspiring and intuitive. Like I've said before, you're so intuitive of knowing how to gently kind of encourage. And I say it's encourage because there's no push by any means. And it was right timing that I would say, yes, yes, it's time for me to try this out. And so I think it must be at least about 2 years in that journey that I didn't really bite in the beginning, or was convinced that that was the way that I wanted to get involved in it in any way, just as a customer on the side, not even a wholesale customer. So,
Yeah, well, it wasn't the right time for you, was it? And I think we've known each other for about 3 years. I think it's been 3 years since the festival when you were here. So
yes.
I mean, before that COVID stuff. So yeah,
yes,
and I think it's right. You have been a customer for about 2 years, but you know, it's all divine timing, and you needed to lose your job. I know that's awful to say that, but it's true. It's like you needed to get to the point, where you were like, okay, I need something, and I'm really open to, and that's when you become more open to looking at other options. And I think, you know, I can even think like Pam, for example. I mean, it's taken you a while too, didn't it, darling? I mean, you've been sitting on the fence for a while too. So, you know, and for her, it was her health that where she decided, okay, I need to do something about this. And you were at the point where you were broke too, right?
Yeah, I've had enough.
Yeah. So it's the same. And you know, and that divine timing is everything. It really is everything. So, you know, and you don't come into this just because you came into this. You came into this because there's a reason why you're here, and that you're ready to take that next step and level up your life. Your soul is going, okay, I want more. I'm ready for more now.
Yep.
And you can see it, Christina. Look what's happening with you at the moment. You know, suddenly everything's popping and everything's fitting into place, and you don't even have to think about it. It's just, okay, I'm ready to let go of this fear now and judging what other people think of me, and I'm just going to do this. And then suddenly you get all these customer after customer after customer, you know? So, and that's what I mean. As soon as you decide that you're going to step through anything that's holding you back, you're going to feel the fear and do it anyway. And you're going to make a decision to find a way to change your life. Then, you know, things start happening for you. And I think that's exactly what we saw with Tammy. She decided to change her life, and then suddenly, boom, her business just rockets. And, you know, she gets her next promotion. She'd been sitting on SC, I think, for about 3 years. And suddenly she gets her next promotion. And now things are just really going really well for her. So, and that's the thing. Just want to go back. And the other thing too is, and Tammy really touched on this too. So if you're really struggling, reach out to your upline, because this is what I did with Kat when I was really at my worst at the end of last year. And I just reached out to her and I said, look, I'm really struggling. I don't know if I can do this anymore. And she was just, oh, darling, I hear you, you know, and she was just the person I needed to just hear me out. And just, you know, because sometimes as your upline, we believe in you before you believe in yourself. And it sounds cliche, but it is so true. At that moment where you suddenly don't believe in yourself anymore and you're going, I can't do this, this is too hard, then your upline is there saying, absolutely, you can do this. I've seen you do this before. You've got it in you. You're an amazing person, and with absolute sincerity as well. Absolute, complete sincerity. And the other thing is too, and another thing that also that Tammy has touched on is go back to why you started and ask yourself if that's still important, because sometimes that can change. These things can change over time. And if you weren't doing this, what else would you be doing? So if you don't have any other options, then why would you want to give this up? Why would you want to say goodbye to this? And this is a question I ask myself a lot when I'm at that, not a lot anymore, not since end of last year when I went to my really low point. But that was what I was asking myself. Well, what else would I be doing? I don't want to go back to a 9-to-5 job. It is not my thing anymore. I don't want to work for someone else. I love having my independence. I love having my flexibility. I love having my own business. You know, I love mentoring so many beautiful women and watching them change their lives. That's what I love about this. So find something that you absolutely adore about this business and then ask yourself, what else would I be doing? Do I want to go and clean houses? You know, do I want to go on a benefit? Do I really want to go and get myself a job and work for someone else's dream? You're working for yourself, your own dream right now. And the other thing is listen to inspirational trainings and podcasts and do your personal development. Find any way that you can to help yourself grow, any way that you can. Invest in yourself, because every time you are on a training or you're doing a personal development, you're buying an audio book, you know, you're doing a coaching course, whatever you do, that is all investing in yourself and your business. At the end of the day, like Tammy says, she talks about the 4-year thing. This is a 4 to 5 year career, this business, and it's going to pay you in that 4 to 5 years. And so in 5 years' time, you should be sitting on a really good income. If you're not, then you've been mucking around for 5 years. Seriously, then you've been kind of, you know, dipping your toes in the water. And maybe that you're just a customer who wants to get their product cheaper, and that's fine. If that's what you want to do, then that's totally fine. But if you want more than that, then you can absolutely have more than that. Elimination. Simon Chan, he annoys me. He's really irritating, but he has some really good stuff. He has some really good tips and things. Yeah, I've done his course. Yeah, so I love Tony Robbins. Oprah Winfrey, Fraser Brooks is great. So is, what's his name? What's his name? The guy that died. What's his name, Angel?
I cannot believe you have just said that. Bob Proctor is his name.
Bob
Proctor.
Oh my God. Okay, so Bob Proctor's amazing. He's the best person in the world, and I listen to him still every day. And if you guys haven't heard of him or you haven't listened to his stuff recently, it's so amazing. Yeah. It's so amazing.
He talks a lot about the paradigm, your paradigm, and how you can change it. And it's mind-blowing stuff about how, you know, as a child, and I can do a training on this. It's really cool. But as a child, you're not conscious. You don't actually have a consciousness for the first 3 years. So everything that you are getting from what you're getting in your environment is going into your subconscious. So that's why when you get to like adult years, we're wondering why we keep repeating the same patterns. It's because it's what's been going in since we were babies that we weren't even aware of. So it's someone else's beliefs and values that's been filled up in you. And it's actually not true. And you can change that. So yeah, it's really powerful stuff, really powerful. Open the flaps. It's the other guy, Eric Worre, spelled with an O, Tammy, Eric, W-O-R-R-E. Yeah, awesome. Richard Bliss Brooks is very real. He sees it how it is. Anyway, ladies, I want to leave you now because I know I've had you on here for an hour. So it was nice to see you, Pam, even though you only had a little bit of time with us, darling. Next time. And have a beautiful evening, everybody.
Thank you, love.
It's all right. Bye.